At one point, I might have thought that I wasted years of my life, and objectively, I could still say I've wasted years of my life, but the key part, the second part of the title, is that I'm okay with it. In this video, we're literally going to combat every pathway of doom that's keeping you stuck in this mindset that you've wasted time, that you are wasting time, that all of this is one big mistake, especially younger people, like people my age or younger. In response to some of my recent YouTube videos, there's this sentiment of this stress, this fear, this unease around wasted time. First of all, we're young, so the great thing is that it's literally fine. But I get it. As a young person, there's so much pressure around the early stages and growth of your life, and when it feels like you've wasted years of that precious youth and that precious developmental time, it can be extra anxiety inducing. And I've been hearing this sentiment a lot. And I was there too. And sometimes I'm still there on a shorter time span level. Like sometimes I'm like, oh, I wasted my entire Sunday, didn't do anything. But now I don't have like this bigger sense of wasting big chunks of my life, and I'll explain why. This is what this video is about. All these emotions are human and valid, but the thing about emotions and feelings is that they are not always helpful. So I understand the emotion, I understand the feeling, and how you can release them so that you can move to the next chapter of your life, so that you can move towards what you want instead of always feeling stuck by the things in your past that you didn't want or the mistakes that you made. And believe me, the younger me, so much guilt used to come to me when I think of the years of my life that I've wasted. Crippling guilt. I am that person. I am very qualified to talk about this subject. One perfect example is I'm holding a filled coffee cup right here. Guess what's in this cup? Not coffee. It's actually chamomile tea. From a very young age, I've been a coffee drinker. And just very recently, I realized that I need to stop drinking coffee because coffee has shaped my personality and my day-to-day mental state for more than half my life. Can you imagine the feeling, the sense of wasted time that I had when I made that revelation and decided I was gonna stop coffee, which I'm doing a great job, evidently, because this is chamomile tea, decaf chamomile tea. I'm happy. I am happy about it. Before we get into more direct reasons, I want to remind you, this is a truth that I hold to my core, that so much of our experience comes down to mindset. The combination of logic and logically understanding what's in our best interest mixed with feeling from your heart and accepting all your emotions, that is the kind of alignment that you want to be in your peak experience of life. Now is the time, today is the day. Transformation is always available to you. And yeah, so now with that little disclaimer and reminder about mindset out of the way, let's go right to the feeling of feeling like you've wasted time, feeling like you've wasted years of your life. This feeling, by the way, can be triggered by good things or bad things. This is a very fickle sort of emotional state, I guess, the feeling of I've wasted years of my life. I love to talk about agency. I love to talk about the power of your own choice, which is always accessible to you. What is the issue with this thought loop of just being in this state of stressing about our lack of things, our lack of ability to make decisions, our lack of clarity in the past, which has led us up to this current day of regret? The issue is that when you are in these thought loops, you are making a choice to stay in those thought loops. And guess what? Those thought loops are not going anywhere. They're just going to keep feeding themselves and looking for examples and evidence to sustain that thought loop. And this is like how a lot of anxiety works too, from a neurobiological level. Mental thought loops, we need to break out of them. I was here for a long time in my life, and what is the risk of that? You just live your life feeling like you just can't stand yourself, you can't stand your current state or anything anymore, to be frank. And then the more you stay in these mental loops, the more momentum and force it's going to take you to get out of these mental loops. Not necessarily. If you're watching a video like this, if you're getting kinds of inspiration like this, I think it's already great. Like, this is the mental shift work. It's right here. The issue with these mental loops is when people start closing themselves off to the hope that things could be better for them. You don't have like anything from the outside changing the way you think or perceive these mental loops. That's where it gets kind of tricky. I'm inspired by you because you're aware of your desire to let go of regret over wasted time. And I think that is the most important step. Like, you have literally already done more than 50% of the work. Awareness is so key. When I talk to people who bring up these problems, it's not someone who's wasted years of their life. I actually see someone who's inspired to help themselves access a better life. And to me, that's so inspiring. And that is all the signal you need. Awareness is where we remember our agency, and we remember the power of choice that we have, and we remember that we can be anyone and anything in this world, and that every day is as good as ever to experience all these opportunities and experience a new way of being. Especially if your old way of being was making you miserable and upset, you simply get to choose to let go of that. And I know this is easier said than done. I'm saying this like, oh, it's so simple. It's not always simple, but it can be done. That is the most encouraging, optimistic part. Now we see why these mental loops are, for the most part, if they're not actively harmful to your well-being, they are at least not helping you. It's not really a constructive habit to form. So that brings me exactly to my second point. Since time is something that we cannot technically get back, what are you doing every time you engage in the thought that you've wasted years of your life? Even if that thought only takes 2 seconds, that's 2 more seconds of your life that you can't get back. Why are you still spending time there? There are greener fields out there. There are more possibilities that are waiting to be explored by you. There are pockets of this world that see you as an already whole and wonderful person. Hit me up if you know a way to time travel and go back to our past, because I am interested. I would love to hear more. For most of us, we probably can't time travel back to the past. So in that case, why are you spending more of your precious present moment awareness, which your present moment, by the way, is creating your future self. Every moment right now is creating the future you. Why waste any precious second or energy in the present to worry about something that you absolutely cannot control? All we can do is control our choice and our decisions in this present moment. If you don't get a grip on present moment you, if you watch till the end of this video and you still walk away thinking, well, I still think I've wasted years of my life, guess what? You're going to bring that to the future you, and your future you, whether it's a month from now, 2 years from now, still going to be sat around thinking, again, I've wasted years of my life. No, I don't want that for you. Again, time and energy is precious. If it's not constructive, why is it in your life? If it doesn't make you feel good, why is it there? So not only are the mental loops themselves problematic, they are also not something that you can do anything about. Okay, anxiety a lot of times, overthinking a lot of times, it actually comes from the intelligent side of our brain fighting for survival, the problem-solving part of our brain, which is a beautiful space, by the way. But it comes when we try to solve problems that don't need our solving. You can't solve this problem of your past because it's in the past. I'm so sorry to break it to you. Unless you want to work with me on finding a way to travel through time, you have to let it go because it's in the past. You have the present moment. That's what you have control over. That's what you have agency over. And that's a beautiful space to be. Hopefully that gives you a bit of relief. Believe me, if there was a way, my brain would try to find it. And I spent years of my life in that limbo, but there is no way. The past is in the past. We have to accept it. How do we accept it? Process it. Let it go. And stoicism might help you a bit. Admit defeat. We can only ever maintain our own choice of action moving forward. Stoicism is a great way to live our lives. We live in a world with 7 other billion people who all have pasts, who all have mental loops, so nobody actually really cares that much about the mistakes that you've made or the years that you've wasted. At the end of the day, no one else out there cares about those things as much as you do, so give yourself a break. When you seek help, that's great because then you have a guide who can help you catch those things. And I'm making a video like this because I want to help you catch the illusion of wasted time and all the unnecessary negative emotions that come around it. Give yourself a break and commit to doing what's actually going to help you, what's actually going to help you grow. Do me a favor right now. commit to just being a better, happier, healthier version of yourself. Nothing in this world really matters so much at the end of the day. And how tightly are you clenching onto things? How tightly are you clenching on to the importance of your past and the amount of regret you have towards wasted years? How tightly are you clenching onto this narrative? The tighter that you're clenching onto it, the more you need to just let it go. The world will keep on spinning. You will be fine. Everyone around you will be fine, I promise. Now I'm going to say something contradictory. If you're still watching to this point in the video, if right now you still have a reason why you don't agree with me, please let me know. DM me, we can talk about it, because I want you to literally watch this video and leave feeling like you can let go of some of those heavy emotions of feeling like a failure, feeling like you've wasted time. I understand, I've been there. If you don't feel better about this, DM me. But now I'm gonna say something contradictory. And I have to, right? Because as we've all probably observed, being alive on this confusing, spinning globe of a world, the human existence and the human state is full of contradictions. There's no such thing as a waste of time. Even if you spend 1 year or 5 years in this mental loop of hating yourself and dreading all your decisions and just crumbling, like go and become a hikikomori for all I know. Just evade reality, just give up on everything. If you spend 1 year, 5 years in that state, I still don't think you're wasting your time. Call me too optimistic or whatever, but I really don't think that anything is ever a waste of time. Like, I do think that what we experience in life is meant for us to be experienced. All the suffering, the hardship, the desires, all of that is meant to be a part of our lives. And so how can you judge your own life or your own existence as a waste? The reality of the thing is that that is just life expressing through you. And I know we're getting really deep here, but if you open up and really let go of all these structural labels and identities and definitions that we love to put on things, especially our own experiences and our own stories, our identities, if you just let go of all of that, you will open up to a field of such expansiveness that it'll blow your mind. Like, it might be just too much for your mind to handle right at the beginning. Nothing in life is ever a waste. It either comes back to you in the future as a reminder of something in your past, and so your future self recognizes it as a signal and sees it. No other Joe or Jane would have seen it, but you, because that was a part of your past experience, which you're judging as wasted time, really it's just your past experience, your future self is gonna see that and it's gonna be more awakened to that. So it's not a waste of time. All our life experiences do amount to something. Even if it's a negative experience or a positive experience, this is all the process of you unfolding. To just give you the smallest example, there have been hobbies that I felt like I wasted times of my life not pursuing because I was caught up in something else that seemed like a waste of time. But guess what? Those hobbies get to come back to me now when the timing is right. Nothing is ever a waste of time. It's gonna come back to your future self. Your future self is gonna recognize it and now finally be equipped to run with it and use it. Or if it doesn't directly help you, and it isn't part of the future you want, it's life experience. You've lived in the school of hard knocks, baby. You know, this is something that I have a negative association with in my past, and so I don't want that anymore. So the rest of your life gets to open up, and you have only your past experiences to thank for that. Really, to end this video off, I really don't even think that anything is a waste of time anymore. The older me used to see my life like grip on fitting in and doing whatever I was supposed to be doing. I don't even know what I'm supposed to be doing. I didn't know what I was supposed to be doing, but I would just keep myself in this prison of, am I doing the right thing or am I doing the wrong thing? So yeah, the old me used to think that I wasted years of my life, and guess what that led to? It led to more years spent spiraling and feeling sorry for myself. No offense, sorry if that triggers you, but yeah, to some aspect, we are all human. We sometimes just love to feel sorry for ourselves. I do it too on an off day, you know, it happens. Then I became okay with it. I pushed myself to think of it this way. Okay, I've wasted years of my life. There's nothing I can do with it. So let me just cut myself some slack and I'm just gonna be okay with it. And after more time spent in that state, Now I am on the other side where I'm like, you know what? Looking back, actually none of those things at all were a waste of time. No, but like seriously, like nothing in this world matters so much. We need to all just relax a little more, cut ourselves some slack. Especially if you're watching till this point in the video, because I know you're probably so hard on yourself. In my own evolution, I've seen that this me now, I don't believe anything as being a waste of time. And if you come to me and tell me how you have regret because you've wasted years of your life, empathetically, I am there with you. I understand, but I just don't have that perspective anymore. I really think that we can be anything we want to be. We can do anything we want to do. All we have to do is choose. We just have to choose to be aware of our own agency. And on that note, I'm gonna go enjoy my chamomile tea. I have no regrets. I'm just vibing. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.